Okay, so this is my testimony. So pretty much I was just raised in the church. My parents were really involved in ministry, and so I'd go wherever they go, do VBS, choir, all this kinds of stuff. And that was my entire childhood, was just lived out at church. Become junior high age, around sixth grade, yes. Around junior high, I kind of had this identity crisis. I have three brothers, so growing up with them, I'd always dress tomboyish. I would dress how they dress, act like how they acted. And so entering into junior high, there's these friends that would give advice, but they were actually criticizing me, and they were saying, oh, you should act more like this, dress like this, don't be that or do that. And so the people pleaser that I am, which is really bad, I try to conform to their expectations instead of conforming to what God wanted me to truly be. And so I was really faced with this identity crisis. And also, I didn't really have my own relationship with the Lord. I was relying on my mom's relationship, or my dad's, or even my brother's. And so it was really hard for me to understand just who God was and why I personally needed him. So I kind of faked the funk throughout junior high, and so it didn't really leave a good foundation for my faith. And then fast forward to ninth grade year, the Lord laid upon my parents' heart to move to Temecula. Didn't have a church there, didn't have family or friends, so that's when I really battled with depression, because I didn't have a relationship with the Lord. I didn't have mentors to go to. I didn't have friends to turn to. I had no one, and I just lost all hope, really. And I was a very quiet, shy girl, really, kept to herself. I wouldn't really talk about my feelings. I still don't. But that's something that the Lord's been working on. And so, yeah, eventually we found a church, Reliance Church. I would pretend to be sick to avoid going to high school groups, to high school on Sunday, to even just going to church as a whole. But then one Sunday, the Lord, grabbed a hold of my heart and said, I want you to go on a Panama mission trip. And I said, okay, I'd rather do that than go to a high school group. Weird. So I went, and the Lord totally transformed me there. That's where he really showed me who he is, and what my identity was in him, how it's supposed to be founded in him alone. And I came back, talkative and, trying to be more outgoing. And in junior year, I eventually went on I eventually went to high school camp my junior year, and that's where I rededicated my life, and God really broke down some walls. And so I eventually found my purpose, and my gifting was in worship, and just eventually with children, because I served in children's ministry. I was starting to serve in junior high ministry. I eventually was faithful enough in those areas, which I was also very quiet. I didn't even know worship was even a gifting. I didn't want to sing at all. Really weird. But God used it, and I could see now that his hand was orchestrating it all. And so I eventually made it to the main stage, and after I graduated, I thought life was going to be easier. I'm like, cool, I'm an adult now, I have freedom. But honestly, it's just been me relying more upon God, and he's brought me up to be a leader in the junior high ministry, which I love my junior high kids so much, and I could relate to them on so many levels, and I would have never thought in a million years that God would use me in that way. And it's really amazing to see how we have these plans and expectations in our lives, but God, man plans his steps, but the Lord directs his path. And so that's really what God has shown me in my life. And it hasn't gotten any easier, but I've just learned to rely more upon him, and just to surrender more things to him, that I've been holding back recently. So yeah, God's still doing work. He's still sovereign and still good. And I pray that, I continue just to follow after him. And it's really amazing, because I never thought I even had a testimony. But now, speaking about it, it's really amazing to see, I guess, just how God has been faithful in my life, even in the little things, to bring me from where I was, this shy little girl who didn't have this relationship with God, to now being, a daughter of the King, and me being confident in that and knowing that. So, okay. Yeah, that's it.